Man, those breath mints, I kind of treat them like candy.
Yeah. Put some zing back in your mouth.
Right.
Some zip.
Suffering from the halitosis.
Yeah. Look, I remember a while ago.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm serious. I remember a while ago, I was at a party and I was like just breaking into my 20s.
Right.
Right. Went to this party without you. I want to say it was that rave down in Redondo Beach. What was the name of the dang on club? Fashions. They played all techno, right? Met a fine young honey.
Right. A sea biscuit.
Oh.
A fine young sea biscuit.
Sea urchin.
Right.
You know, beautiful in its own right. Mm-hmm. And I felt so confident.
Two steps away from a mermaid.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably even further.
Right.
But I felt so confident that she wanted to talk to me. I thought, this is my night.
What made you think she wanted to talk to you?
Well, she came up to me and talked to me. She said, hello, my name is this. What's your name?
Oh, okay. So you just knew it was going to go somewhere.
The fact that she approached me, right. I was on top of the world.
Right.
Okay, but there was one thing about being on top of the world.
What's that?
I had bad breath.
Oh, wait. Don't tell me.
Oh, man.
Did she tell you had bad breath or
Nope.
you knew?
Nope.
Was her skin like a reflectant? Like, did you just blow on a portion of her skin?
This is when I knew. Listen to me.
Okay.
This is when I knew. Right when I said, hello, the mysterious look that came across her face.
Right.
It was a look of uncertainty. And this is not real.
Right.
Or that with the glance that she like kind of picked her foot up and looked down at her foot.
No.
So that told me, I added it up real quick. Either she thinks she stepped in shit.
Oh, no.
Or my breath was really that bad.
Right. Oh.
I struggled to say my name because I knew I had already caused offense. Okay?
Damn, right.
I've already caused her some sort of bodily harm.
The horse didn't even get out of the gate. You couldn't even run the race, man.
So what I did was it said, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
But what she didn't know,
yeah,
I was not to return.
Right. Because I was like thinking right now, what do you have in the bathroom? Mouthwash? Do you like travel with mouthwash or something?
Back then, no. There was no such thing. I mean, you had gum and mints.
Right.
I had already crossed the line.
Right.
In my mind, I felt like, oh no, you've already embarrassed yourself, sir. You've shown your true cards.
Right.
Your hygiene skills are not to be admired.
Yeah.
Just by the horrid look on her face.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so immediately, as to say, immediately I just went home. In defeat, too, because the whole drive was like, how could you let yourself down like that?
Right. Like, did you know, I would have questioned myself. Well, I'd be like, self, was our breath this bad the whole time?
Yeah.
And it just took her to tell us?
And who else did we speak to it and offend?
Right. I would start going over months, years of faces that I've been in.
Yeah.
I had a math teacher. I went through a lot of remedial classes in junior high.
I did too. I was signed up.
Yeah.
Like we took remedial classes like electives.
Yeah. I wasn't getting it
At all.
And at some point, I still don't get it. But look,
Yeah.
she was she was my math teacher. Her breath stank so bad.
Right.
I remember her name. It was Mrs. Mabane.
Mabane. Wow.
And the first thing she would do, I get in class and she wolfing down the coffee.
Right.
And cheese.
Yeah.
And she would sit there and cut her cheese and her coffee.
Oh no. Horrible mixture.
The woman taught me how to do math.
Yeah. She was a chemist
But-
in breath stank.
The gifts that she would give me
Yeah.
were horrible.
Oh my God.
And then the assistant teacher would then throw some popcorn in the microwave, whole class smelling with popcorn, never shared none. They would go to town on the popcorn.
Yeah.
And then she would come over, lean over and get her huge wrinkled finger
Right.
and always on my paper,
Yeah.
You know, talking like,
Yeah.
and numbers don't even, you can't even pronounce a number that goes,
Yeah.
you know, and she found a way to do it.
Jeez.
Man, her breast, I dreaded going to this class only because I knew
Her breath was special.
no, I was going to raise my hand and my dumbass remedial self had a question.
Yeah.
And I knew what it entailed.
Yeah, you had a question every time.
And I was like, oh man, do I really need to know this answer?
Yeah.
You know, I got to the point where I was like, I know I can get through life without knowing this one answer.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I just need 20 minutes away.
You know who's speaking of that, and that's pretty horrible because now I'm thinking, did she know and she was just torturing kids? Like she was like, oh, my bad breath game is good this morning. I'm gonna kill these kids with it.
I could not have been the only kid that went, oh, I gotta ask her a question.
Yeah.
Damn, I was, and you never call off sick. Why you never call off sick?
Yeah. Why are you so punctual?
Yeah.
I feel like the kids, I think you guys let yourselves down. I think we let ourselves down because we should have had some sort of briefing about this.
Right.
Like after, hey, you guys want to meet up after class and let's discuss something here.
Right.
Like, are we all in the same
boat? Like,
yeah.
I didn't even think to pull my friends aside and go, yo, are you dealing with something you want to talk about?
Yeah.
It was like we all was getting nostril molested and we didn't want to tell nobody we was being nostrily
molested.
Check
it out. I think that one kid, Timmy, I think he was scarred by it.
Right.
I think like he suffered some trauma because he would never talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Like after he left the class, he was just, you know, he kept to himself.
Right.
But before class, he was outgoing.
Right.
You know? So I wonder I think he probably got wounded.
I bet he would show up to the next class and the teacher would be like, why do you always have this fearful look on your face?
Yeah. He was so scared to tell her.
Right. And if he asks this teacher a question, he knows her breath is just right. It's beautiful.
Jeez. Well, there is that one teacher I want to talk about who had great breath. I'm gonna spark a memory back on you, and you're gonna know right away. So, fun fact for those who are watching. This is a fun fact moment. Marilyn, if you will. Fun fact. Forrest Whitaker's mother, the actor Forrest Whitaker's mother, used to teach us in the old remedial education there.
5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, Catskill Elementary in Carson, California. Look it up. But she had
Mrs.
Whitaker. She had the sweetest breath.
Oh, she was always nice.
She just reeked of peppermint.
And she always wore that red lipstick.
Yes.
Beautiful woman.
Yes. And she reeked of peppermint. Every time I would go to class, I would be like, oh, I love this teacher.
Right.
I love your breath, ma'am. And at the time, I didn't know it was Forrest Whitaker's mother. I mean, I'm sure our mom told us because she knew, obviously.
No. You don't remember him coming in class?
I do remember that. He came to the class. But I still wasn't putting two to two together on how
I think he was early off in his
career was going to be.
Right.
Yeah. So we just knew him as Forrest and her as Miss Whitaker. But Forrest grew up with an awesome mother.
Yeah.
He had to smell peppermints his whole life.
Yeah.
If she was so patient enough to teach two big dummies, she's a special woman.
Yeah.
And not just two big dummies, but a class full of big dummies.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, teachers are phenomenal.
They do a great job.
I mean, that's like a superpower.
It is.
And no one talks about that superpower.
And the power is called power of patience.
Yeah. Yeah, teachers are like superheroes with superhero patience.
Yeah, because you know you got that dude, again, Timmy.
Right.
He likes to sit back there with the straw, make spit knots, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And shoot them at people. Now, as a teacher, you know you're trying to get a lesson across, right? In hopes that you can enlighten some form of intelligence amongst these children. Right. But you got that one heathen in the back that just won't cease the shit.
Right.
So a teacher has to tell themselves, look, at home, I beat this dude's ass. Right. But I'm in a professional setting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to dial this back and kill this moron with my verbal to intellectual judo skills.
Right.
Right.
Verbal judo.
Right. Timmy, would you mind stopping that? Or we're going to have to put you in the corner.
Right.
And if that doesn't work, they elevate their game. Timmy, It'll be off to the principal with you,
Right.
right? So a teacher, you got to have some calm and some cadence and some positive vibrations that just linger.
I think teachers never lost a part of their childhood or their younger state of mind. I think they were blessed with like more than the average person was blessed with. And they were like, oh yeah, we're still a child. So I got to do this. I got to say this.
Yeah.
I got to behave this way.
Yeah, because I was once like that.
Right.
They haven't forgotten where they came from, in essence.
Once you figure out how to feed go fish and what they're going to do after
Yeah.
and before the feeding,
Yeah.
the game is solved. Because that's all we are, go fish. We just bumping into the bowl and, you know.
Yeah, to all you teachers out there, hey, good job.
Yeah.
Here's to you.
Unsung heroes, principals too. Like if you a principal,
Yeah.
you got to watch all the other little.
Yeah, if you
Essentially, you watching the entire schoolyard.
yeah, but see, principals
Yeah, but you got to be a
principals
good
got
principal.
that. Yeah, but principals got that ego. A lot of them just mean.
Yeah, some of them.
You remember the one principal?
I think that's more our growing up of
yeah. They probably not like that
of
now.
when school was still like
Yeah.
some teachers would still take a paddle to you. Like, I'm going to call your mother. I got something waiting in my drawer. Let me make sure it's okay first.
You remember that one principal we had? He was Mr. Louet. He used to ride around on a bike with a bullhorn.
Yeah, that dude was mean.
And he used to yell at kids.
Right.
You know.
With the bullhorn.
Yeah, get back to class.
Right. I watched him go up to some dude like right in his face, and I was just like,
Bullhorn.
yo, he can hear you.
Yeah.
2 bungalows down, bro. Why
Yeah.
you in this kid's face? That's when I knew I ain't messing with this dude because he gonna put the bullhorn in your face.
There was no need for it.
Yeah. And the kid was like,
Yeah, you can obviously see he's being
that was
defected
like,
by it.
but he was like, that's assault.
Yeah.
You know? Assault with sound waves. Because that kid was cringing, like, damn, dog, you in my face.
Right. And the funny thing is, he didn't ride around the school like a BMX or a beach cruiser.
No.
It was like a BMX freestyle bike.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It had pegs and mags on it.
And he's older.
I was like, whoa, this dude is different. And
Yeah.
the bullhorn would be strapped to him like it was a damn
Assault
saber
rifle,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Very methodical.
He did his job by scaring the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And it worked for him.
It worked on me.
Hey, I was straight.
Damn.
Yeah, that's wild.
Let's talk about that remedial again, no?
Yeah, because sometimes
I didn't like going because I feel like other kids was just
I
like,
just wasn't getting it.
that's the stupid class.
Right.
Look at you stupid fools in there. You can't
Yeah.
even count your fingers.
Yeah.
You know?
But now I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
It was some dudes walking by and they was like, look at your stupid ass, laughing at me.
Right.
And you know I was kind of a bad boy
Yeah.
growing up.
Well, you were young.
Right. But, you know, I was like, you do know this is a 1-period class.
Yeah.
And as soon as the bell rings, I'm going to find you and I'm going to hassle you for the rest of your school career.
So you would just take that and just be a bully.
I was so bad. Like, hey,
Because you were embarrassed and he hurt
right.
your feelings.
Yeah, he hurt my feelings, and I think I had to whoop his ass for doing it.
Yeah.
And made sure he had a horrible time at school when he saw me.
Yeah.
But I was dumb and at that
yeah,
age.
but in the
it
moment-
was justified at that point.
In the
Damn
moment,
it, Lamar,
in the moment, it was right for
it
you.
was justified.
Yeah. I can't argue that. I will not judge you on that fact, sir. I just know that we handle things differently now.
Right.
We learn not to take words so serious.
Right. But it still taught me. I
Yeah.
still look back in those days and go, you idiot.
Yeah. Why did I do that?
But hey,
It's a good lesson.
You did that so you could teach us to call you an idiot.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Right.
Yeah. Better now for it.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
I didn't even like when I think about it now. I didn't even feel good doing it. It's just something I had to do because I wasn't going to be that kid that was going to get bullied.
Yeah.
You know?
But then also the kids that's not like us, right?
Right.
The ones that are more subject to believe what the other person is saying to them. I mean, you got those that they take that home and it scars them different.
Right.
You know, because they don't stand up for themselves and it's a lot of pressure from others on you. You really ain't got no friends to tell you, that ain't you. Don't worry about that.
Right.
You know, that's just, it's just banner.
Right.
You know?
Recently, we just dropped a YouTube short, and it was based on who taught you to hate. And if you guys really listen to the woman second to last, I believe, she told a phenomenal story of what she hung on to that made her hate.
Yeah.
And I think, well, I don't know. I just think the more we hang on to things like that, it really defines to us what the worst we've experienced can be, and we can scale it from there.
Yeah.
So we'll never have anything worse that we've experienced prior. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because you
Like, you can't hurt me any further than this.
yeah. But it's tough for those like that had to deal with that,
Right.
you know?
But it was so significant enough to carry throughout her entire life.
And not only that, that's just her story. What about the ones that go to commit suicide over it?
Right.
Like we as humans are so fragile that the words that we say and the energy and emotion that we project to one another is that harmful to the human spirit and soul.
Right.
We gotta do better. You know what I mean? Like
It's just we got to teach better.
we gotta teach and we gotta do better. But how do you do that towards adolescence when you and I have been there where our mom was like, hey, if you saved $100 when you get your first job and put it into a savings account, you could probably retire.
Right.
They would tell us, your parents tell you things like that. Right. Those fortunate enough to get good advice from good parents.
Right.
But at adolescence, you always like, nah, I got to go. Me and old Ricky Bobby,
Yeah.
you know, we about to go out to the movies, race cars, meet women, club, party, dance.
Right.
I don't have time for the wisdom right now.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of like you got to put yourself back there to that situation. You was there. I was there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we got to be better.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
I just don't know how we do that. I'll never have an answer for that.
Yeah. Yeah. We sometimes you would like to look inward and be like, there's an answer for this.
Right.
But there's so many problems that require different solutions.
Right.
It's kind of hard to narrow down. I don't know.
And then it's like, we should only be teaching, this is probably off subject, but we should probably be teaching our children just the things they have to know because they're children, and keep that innocence with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when they become 18, then we unload all of our adult bullshit on them.
Yeah.
And let them swim through it to see what's going to stick to them.
Yeah.
Whether they want to be a certain way or do a certain thing. But in my mind, if I'm looking at a kid and I love kids, I would want to keep them as innocent and no impressions on them.
Yeah, no bias.
For as long as they can possibly be kids and teenagers. Just live it.
But even when they're growing up, we still have ways, I mean, all of us, when we get older, to make our children, I mean, it's gotten better now, right? To make our children feel like they're all equal.
Right.
That's what we're missing. But remember when we used to go get lunch and we had the yellow ticket and somebody may have had a blue ticket right at school.
Right.
The yellow meant you got the okay lunch.
Right.
And the blue meant you got the goddamn salmon bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean? With maybe a glass of wine or beer.
Right.
But every kid knew you had the yellow ticket because when you brought your plate out, you know what I mean?
Right.
They could see, oh, that's government cheese and a jailhouse burger.
Right.
So we are already like separating ourselves by the class of wealth.
Well, school system is ran by the state system, so you're not going to have the best food.
Social system is
Same as the jail.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, you look at it, that was hard for some kids.
Right.
Some kids probably didn't even want to eat because they were afraid to be looked at different because they didn't have the blue ticket.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we were already heavy into.
I would see some kids too while I waited in line with my yellow ticket.
Yeah.
My yellow, it would say 2B on it.
Yeah.
You know?
And other kids had that money game and they were smiling a lot
Right. I was
more.
like, so when I got into the cafeteria from waiting in line, you remember the line used to be outside and then you finally got into the cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, how are you getting these slushies and chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah. Like what?
Like I only get chocolate milk, or I got to choose from regular milk, chocolate milk, some nasty vegetables, and a a grilled cheese sandwich.
Right.
You know, and this kid, like in the 6th grade, and he's getting I was like, I remember going and asking Mom, I was like, can we get 50 cents every day to go?
Yeah, she was like, hell
Hell
no.
no.
What's wrong with the peanut butter and jelly?
I ain't got the money for that.
Yeah.
Are you eating?
Yeah, take your little He-Man lunch pail and your thermos and get the hell out of here, kid.
Which Mom made some good lunches.
I mean, they
You know
were
what I'm
hefty.
saying? They was just never enough for me.
At one point, when she made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I thought, well, you know, where's the bread at?
Right.
Because it felt like I was just putting my hands into jelly and peanut butter.
She made some good peanut butter.
It's like
and
everything
jelly
ate the
sandwiches,
bread
man.
up. Yeah. It was like the ring of bread,
Yeah.
right? And everything else. And she lacked shortcomings in my thermos for milk. It was like water.
Yeah.
I'm like, you gonna give me this
Yeah.
P&J, but you gonna
I
put
remember
water in my thermos.
sometimes when I opened that lunch pail, I was disappointed. But more times, you know, than not, I was happy with what Mom's was doing in the lunch pail.
Great selection.
Right.
So at least, you know, when you didn't have that ticket, your lunch pail game
was on deck.
Yeah.
The people was actually trading with you.
Yeah.
You remember? They was like, oh, this dude got the grapes again.
Yeah.
I ain't even never seen no grape.
And I was tired of grapes, and he may have had like Cheez-Its.
Right.
Fair trade.
Right. Or the Oreos.
Or the Oreos.
Chips Ahoy.
Yeah. I remember kids used to be like rolling dice. Instead of using money, they would use like potato chips and like Twinkies.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a ghetto elementary.
Yeah.
Boy, I remember protecting my lunch pail. Like when I was going to school, I was like, I held it tight.
Yeah, you had to.
Sometimes it was like a football.
Yeah.
You know, I was
with a concerned look on your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not today.
We ain't trading lunch right.
Yeah.
Not today. I saw what she put in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of kids is like, man, I know he got his mom packed them great lunches.
Even when I got in the classroom, my lunch pail was right between my legs.
Yeah, dudes was like in the back hall Rochambeauing to see who gonna hit you for your lunch first.
Right.
No, I'm gonna ask him this time. You hit him up yesterday.
Yeah, Mom had the lunch pail game down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
It was better than the school products.
It was. Yeah, I didn't like being that kid though that had that ticket.
But every now and then she would give us $1 so we can go get a coffee cake if we got to school early enough. I used to wake up early
just to go get that coffee cake.
Yeah. But then you also meet different friends while you're getting your coffee cake. You're like, oh, these dudes always sit here, and you're like, y'all always get coffee cake, huh?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're here at 7 a.m, 30
coffee
minutes
cake.
before everybody else.
I wonder what those real like wealthy schools get for lunch.
Yeah.
I wonder if they got like a McDonald's in their
Right.
in their kitchen.
I mean, but that it wouldn't be healthy.
But you know what I mean.
Right.
It's an upper class of lunch.
Wealthy, but don't mean healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's actually health is wealth, but who cares about that?
Yeah.
No one cares about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just happy we got I guess we got the opportunity to be one of those children, you know?
Right.
Not the wealthiest, but at least you had people and friends of your same status, and it worked out.
Right.
In the end, it worked out.
Yeah.
School is a hard ride.
It is.
I don't care if you are famous to the kid that's being bullied. You are not alone, and school is hard, but you can get through it. You know what I'm saying?
It's difficult.
It's difficult, but life is a lesson, and the actual schooling in the physical life is a great lesson.
Right.
Whether you graduate or you don't graduate.
I think whether you rich or poor, school is difficult in many degrees.
Yeah, it's like a pre-life check.
Right.
How tough are you going to be?
Right.
Because this is just getting you ready for the more modified adult version.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, it's constantly being modified.
Yeah.
Every 4 days, there's a new patch upload.
Yep. Man.
Right.
I don't want to go through it again.
No.
I think I learned my lesson.
Yeah, I think now we could choose our interactions
appropriately.
Right.
With some thought behind it.
Right. What was you wanted to ask me a question? What I thought about sports?
Oh yeah, sports and like our priorities.
Yeah.
How come we pay football? And this ain't nothing against football players, athletes. I'm just posing this question.
It's everything to do with athletes.
Every damn word. How come they get all the millions, right, for entertainment, Yeah, so you could run a ball to the end zone.
Right.
Right. But when we was, back in our EMS days, and we were out there, dealing with schizophrenic patients or
Right.
heart attacks, and death, and delivering babies, and
Right.
all this stuff,
Interfacility transfers and
and they paid us pennies and milk.
buttons on $1.
Where did our priorities go?
I remember myself and I believe it was Art. I don't remember your last name.
Contreras.
Contreras. It might have been him. I cannot remember what partner I had. I had so many partners in my early career. We were at, what was that hospital in Inglewood? Centinela?
Or Daniel Freeman.
Oh, Daniel Freeman. And there was a projects near Daniel Freeman. We got a call for basically a drug abuser. Found out she was a crackhead. For the lighter term. There is no lighter term. She was a crackhead.
Right.
And she was pregnant. She had no idea that she was pregnant. I'm about maybe 3 or 4 months into this career. And one, I was kind of freaking out, like, oh my God, she better make it to the hospital. And she didn't.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. The funny thing is, she knew she was pregnant, but she didn't know she was in labor. Check that one out. And so I had to deliver this baby. It was the easiest delivery. I mean, the baby just basically, fell out.
Right.
And so suctioning, I was suctioning the baby. We got the baby to the ER. And I thought to myself at that point, I said, why do I get paid what I get paid?
Yes.
When this doctor in this ER right now is getting paid buku dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm the first out there.
Right.
I'm the first responder.
Mm-hmm.
I
have to get them to
it was
you
like,
first.
why is this? Yeah. Why is it like this?
Yeah. Yeah, because you can operate and do things and diagnose. I get that.
Right. And I'm not knocking the pay on them.
No. I understand it. But even they get paid minuscule.
Right.
Compared to an athlete. You could shoot a ball in the hoop and get 30, 40, $50 million. Do you see some sort of balance issues there?
Yeah, I could see a whole lot.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, surely you can spare the extra couple of 100,000, just a couple of 100,000 out of your 40 million.
Right.
For the firefighter, for the police officer,
for the teacher,
for the medics,
for the janitor,
the EMTs,
for the trash man,
the CNAs,
the plumber,
the nurses,
the electrician,
the principals.
This could go on all day.
All day, bruh.
St. Jude's.
A babysitter.
Yo, anything.
You leaving your baby with
a
stranger.
And you're like, ma'am, I'll pay you, I don't know, $50 for the night.
Right.
Meanwhile, little Joey is probably pulling her goddamn hair out.
Right.
Won't take his bad ass to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not using the toilet what it's meant for.
Right. Throwing darts at her.
Yeah.
Setting
the cat on fire.
Right.
And
they get back, here's $50.
But this poor girl had the ride of her life.
Right. $50.
As she's driving home, she's thinking to herself, I will never do this shit again for these people.
Right. Not for that. You better give me $350. You got Damien in here, and he is running rampant.
And the last she checked, she's no priest.
You see these footprints on the wall?
Yeah, they're not mine. I don't wear size 3.
Right.
So how do you think they got there?
Yeah, it's upside down.
It's upside down, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Or at least make the playing field fair. It ain't got to be too crazy fair.
But I'm saying, right? We value our entertainment over the work that us everyday 9-to-5ers do.
With slaves. To what? I don't know, but with slaves.
They.
Right. And you could tell that when we did our job for that pay, we weren't there for money.
We were there because we choose to be there for the love of that person.
I wouldn't have stuck around 10 or 15 years doing that job just based on money. Because I had everything I wanted at the time. I had horses and dirt bikes and, was living a life that is truly blessed in many ways. Yeah. But it's not right.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, you can't even ask me a question on that, how to make it right. And that's a big ass, I don't know.
Yeah. And I feel for the people that are like doing it now, the nurses, the doctors, the medics, the firefighters, the police officers. It's just, and they still know that the pay is unequal, but it is a calling for those people.
Right. We are there because we want to be there.
Yeah. Now, isn't that a precious soul?
Right. I'm willing to put my life on the line
for my fellow citizens.
Just in case I have to.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, that's a decision right there. Even if a police officer was full of hate, there is a loving side to this person, he or she, if they are willing to deal with this stuff, put their lives on the line. Now, I ain't saying everybody who puts on a uniform is a fucking angel.
Right.
It just don't happen that
way. In any profession, you got bad apples.
Any profession.
It's just unfortunate that in this one, you can't have bad apples.
Right.
Because one dictates the whole bunch.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is. And that's just the way this world is going to be. No changing that. But kudos to those. Kudos to all my first responders out there that get the job done, including military.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got the balls to do what most people in the military do.
And everyone else that wakes up and does their part and and really don't complain.
Right.
I appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care how low you think your job is. If you get up and go and you do it to the best of your abilities,
you're doing it well.
You're doing it well. May the universe bless you.
Yeah. Keep up the good work, America. That's one of those.
That was a Captain America
I
move
tried my
right
best
there.
to inspire, dig down and get something really good for America.
That was a Black in America.
Yeah. That thumb right there was solid.
You didn't even need a shield. You just needed that big ass thumb of yours.
It was an 80s thumb.
Yeah.
That was a retro 80s good old congressional running thumb.
I almost wanted to play The Cure or something just
something good, something worthy.
Yeah. That was a 80-ass thumb. You did say that right.
Yeah. If y'all agree with this podcast, hit us up in the comment.
Please.
Hey, click the bell. Subscribe.
And just add a comment. Say something. Y'all got a voice. Say something.
Yeah.
Too good to say something?
And like the video.
Yeah.
Also, the Patreon is up. Now, we're going to talk about this Patreon a lot because it's going to help us continue to do the shit that we doing, which is talking to y'all about the shit we think about. It helps.
It does.
75 cents a month.
75 cents
$1 a month.
Yes.
$10 a month.
Right.
And for those that can give it,
$350 a month.
To the cent.
Right. $500, $1 million a month. I know we ain't gonna get no $1 million.
You just got crazy.
Yeah. I wonder if there's somebody out there, just some random bored billionaire that just goes, look at these poor sons of bitches. Yeah. The Patreon is what? I'm going to give you $1 million and change your life.
Or he's just like, look at them. They're just so beneath me.
Right.
Bums.
I like to think he's thinking, I'm going to give him $1 million just to see. I just want to give it to him just to see how I could change someone's life. Yeah. Like it's just a game or something, Oh, I bet I could change their lives.
Well, one can hope.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying. We're going to get out of here.
Yeah. Peace. There's always more hair grease.